I'm just gonna give it a few minutes. Um, yep. Just gonna. Okay. Hello. I don't think anybody's gonna watch this live, but that's okay. You guys can watch the VOD. Originally I had a whole podcast with my brother where we talked about the movie Black Panther: Wakanda Forever and how we felt about it. But unfortunately, that recording got corrupted and there wasn't any backup. So I just decided, just right now, off the cuff, I'd record like a quick 30-40 minute live stream talking about how I felt about the movie, what I liked, what I didn't like, and the overall opinion that I have. But yeah, I haven't really been in the editing mood lately, so this is what I've been doing. It's really funny. I uploaded that Black Adam discussion video. It got like 10 views, but then I uploaded a Resident Evil 2 fail that happened when I was playing as Leon, and during the final segment of the game where like I shot the rocket and it just went through all the zombies, and a lot of people watched that video. So I assume you guys I have an audience. I just don't have the viewership for discussion videos. So hopefully this live stream will help out. Which is weird. I'm not usually like asking you guys to subscribe or like comment. I asked you guys to comment and like, but I don't really feel like you guys should subscribe because I'm not like doing it on a consistent thing. I'm just doing it on my own whenever I feel like it. Yeah. So anyway, quick tangent aside. Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, the sequel to the original Black Panther movie. This is an interesting movie. You can't not watch this movie and think about everything around it. Chadwick Boseman's death, the other stuff. It's just, I don't want to get into that because it's a little controversy-ish. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff happening outside that like kind of made this movie way more interesting than it probably originally was supposed to be. Don't get me wrong, the movie is very interesting, but without everything that happened before, I feel like this just would have been like it's just another Marvel movie, but or another slightly good Marvel movie. But now that after everything that happened, it's like this is a movie. Like this is something that's like what is gonna happen? Because of course Chadwick Boseman died. You have your lead actor who's died, like I think very close to shooting. Like they were about to shoot when they heard the news that he passed away. So to like have to rewrite the script, delay production, then COVID, and then all that stuff, and it's just this movie. It's a miracle this movie came out in the shape that it did. Spoiler alert: I love the movie. It's great. I think Ryan Coogler really nailed it. I think everyone was on their A game. The cast, Letitia Wright, Sherry was great. Bassett. Oh my god, I forgot her name. Hold on. This is how unprepared I am. Hold on. Wakanda Forever cast. Tenoch Huerta as Namor is probably one of my favorite villains in the MCU. The favorite antagonist in the movie. He was so good as Namor. They really did a good job of kind of reinventing the character without being insulting or without being kind of annoying. Because usually when the MCU decides to reinvent a character, it's always like it ranges from, oh, that's a cool reinterpretation of the character, to I want to die, that was so bad, what are you doing? Whiplash. So yeah, Angela Bassett as Ramonda, T'Challa's mother, she was so good. She really again, there's no like bad cast. Everyone in the cast are like great actors, and they bring a lot to the material. I think Ironheart was she was very well acted by Dominique Thorne. She was great, but I feel like her role in the story was kind of just to be there, if that makes sense. I mean, I don't know. I have to think about it. So maybe I'm missing something, but I didn't feel like she contributed to like the themes and the message of the story. And speaking of that, the story is about grief. It's about loss. It's about anger. It's about what to do when someone passes and you can't move on. Like the whole journey through like the heartbreak and the loss and the acceptance and the release. It's a celebration of Chadwick Boseman, basically, and what he brought to Black Panther and how important Black Panther is and will continue to be. Because, yeah, he's a king. And also, just outside the world, Black Panther was a huge success. And just to have a movie that discusses that, but also has to be in the MCU, is really difficult. And what Ryan Coogler and his team did was incredible. And I think that should be praised. Easily top 5 MCU movies for me. This is the best of Phase 4, for real, like straight up. This is probably like the best thing in Phase 4. I didn't like Loki. I should keep that in mind. I fell asleep watching Loki, but yeah. But yeah, I really liked it. I thought the first act was strong, and the third act was very strong. I felt like the second act was a little. I don't want to say it's bad. It's not bad. It's still great. It was just, I was kind of like, okay. Yeah, that's how I felt, because it was like, but the first and third act, peak. This is the second act, and this is the first and third act. Like, ugh. There were a couple times, just talk about the CG right now. For the most part, it was pretty well done. I didn't really notice too much. There were some times where I was looking at a shot of like these characters standing in the cities, the Wakandan cities, the city of Wakanda's behind them, and it looked a little green screeny. But then again, I'm not sure, because in order to hide that, what they do is that they blur the background. But I couldn't tell whether that was like, maybe they did it a bit too much, and that's why it looked fake. It's just, sometimes I couldn't tell if it was real, if it was a bad VFX shot or not, because I don't really have that much experience with VFX. But yeah, there's that, and yeah, that's pretty much my spoiler-free thoughts. All the controversy surrounding the lead actress in this movie, with her being pushing some anti-vaccine information, and then I assume she backed out. She like realized that the Disney money was more important, but it's interesting, because I took COVID very seriously, and it was just this weird little disconnect between me and her. But I thought her performance overall was fantastic. Like, I don't have any ill will towards Letitia Wright. It's just her, like, thinking about the real life stuff and then watching her character. It's kind of like it's a little weird. It wasn't uncomfortable. It was just a little weird. Yeah. That's pretty much it for my spoiler-free thoughts. I'll be diving into my spoiler talk right now, and right now I'm just gonna go through the whole movie, beat by beat. So hope you'll stick around. So if you haven't seen this movie yet, go see it. I recommend it. It's very good. And if you have, then let's talk about the movie. So the first shot of the entire movie is this one shot of Shuri trying to. It was so good. It was you perfectly get like. You immediately is like, I got it, and I was like, oh shit, Ryan, what are you doing? Oh my god, this is great, and it's so good. And then the funeral happens, and then it's so like, I was feeling it, I was in it. And speaking of being in it, the way this movie's directed, I'm not sure if it was like this in the first Black Panther. I don't think it was. In this movie, they really focus a lot on the actor's face and close-ups. Like, there's a lot more close-ups in this movie than the first movie, which is a good thing, because you get into the headspace of the characters, and because it's a very emotionally charged movie. So to like be with the characters is just like amazing, and the way the camera kind of always is like, most of the time it's just like in their face, and you get to feel their emotions and stuff, and that was beautiful. And I really felt in the moment, I connected with a lot of the characters because of that. And yeah, so anyway, and then they cut to the Marvel Studios logo intro, but there's no music, and it's just instead of the normal MCU one, it's the Chadwick Boseman one they did to tribute to him, and I thought that was well done. And also, I'm drawing a blank. The Queen goes to the UN. And basically the whole world is like, hey, you promised that you would, the United States and France are like, hey, you promised us that you would share your resources with the world. and you haven't done that yet. And then the queen really calls them out on it, saying, hey, so we just like stopped the French, we just stopped you guys from stealing our vibranium. So like there's a, they found me, I'm sorry, they caught me. Anyway, so if you didn't hear, there was some police sirens in the back. So anyway, I love how the queen, Ramonda, was basically like, listen, you just tried to steal vibranium for us. Don't think we know your bullshit, okay? Listen, you might think that we might have lost our king, but if you think we are weak, that's the last thing. That is the last thing you should be thinking about. And then she says that there's no vibranium outside of Wakanda. And then, spoiler alert, there is vibranium outside Wakanda, because there is a ship that's mining it right now. And that's when we get introduced to Namor's people, the Talokans, I believe. Hold on. Whatever, his Namor's people, and I thought they were pretty cool, honestly. They were blue like Avatar, but it wasn't like the same as Avatar. It was a little different because of the it was just it was different enough where I was like, oh, that's pretty nice. That nice. And yeah, Namor, oh my god, he's so good in this movie. He's basically like, they could have made it so goofy with the wings on his heels. They really could have made it like really goofy, but they didn't. They made it like he was threatening, he was imposing, he was a powerful person, and that was awesome. And I love that guy's performance. Again, just a good reinvention of the character. Again, just so cool. Go through the movie a bit. Namor tells the Ramonda and Shuri that there's vibranium in the world, and they need to find the scientist who created the machine so they can kill him. And then the scientist turns out to be a teenager, a college student named Riri Williams, who's in MIT, and she's Ironheart. And again, she was probably the funniest character in the movie because they gave her all the funny lines next to M'Baku, and she was great. Again, I don't have a problem with her performance. I think she was really good, and she made me even more excited for Ironheart, the show. But again, I felt like in terms of like the themes and the messaging and what the movie was going for, she didn't really like do too much in service of that. I might be wrong though, so correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah. So there's this cool little escape in. Oh my god! Hold on. Okay, another thing, another flaw. Maybe not a flaw. Maybe just a really funny thing. I forgot Martin Freeman was gonna be in this movie. I straight up forgot. So when he showed up, I was like, oh, okay. Oh, cool. He doesn't really do much, which is hilarious. And then it feels like a character that was only there just because he was in the last movie, which is hilarious to me. But we find out. Oh, sorry. There's a bridge fight. It's great. It's awesome. It's so cool. A lot of water and explosions and stuff. And I just found out the first Mark 1 Ironheart armor, that was real. The actress talked about wearing that, and I was like, I read that, and I was like, thank God that was real. Thank God that one was real, because the other one was not real. You could tell that other one was not real. And I hope in the Ironheart show they go back to that original costume, because I vastly prefer that costume over the Mark 1 armor over the one we got in the later on. But anyway, so Okoye fights the I'm gonna call them Namor's people, and that it kind of sets up a little rivalry. Cannot speak. Sets up a fun little conflict between her and one specific soldier. And that was fun. The bridge fight itself was great. There was a lot of use of practical and not practical. And overall, Ryan Coogler knows how to direct action. If that's one thing I learned from Creed and Black Panther, is that he knows how to direct action. So I'm glad he was able to direct action in this movie, which is great. And then in order for Shuri kind of stops the soldiers from killing the scientist Riri by like offering herself to, and that was interesting. That was cool. It was a good excuse to get to Namor's place, and then we cut to the scene with Ramonda and Okoye with the council, and then Baku shows up with a carrot, and I was like, "Oh hell yeah, woo Baku, what's up, woo!" And then and it's a really powerful scene too, where Okoye basically gets fired, and she's like crying, and it's like super emotionally charged, and Ramonda, I keep pronouncing her name wrong. Ramonda basically is like, listen, I have already lost all my family. I do not give a single fuck anymore. And that's great. That was beautiful. Beautiful performance. Great job. And so anyway, we cut to Shuri in I don't want to say Atlantis. Namor's place. And it's this is where the movie kind of lost me, because don't get me wrong, everything looks great, right? Like the visuals underwater look fantastic, but that entire time I'm thinking Avatar 2 is coming out in December. It's gonna wipe the floor with this movie. It's gonna crush this movie. Like Avatar 2, The Way of the Water looks so good. It looks so good. And to have a movie, it just like, it's one of those things where I'm like, okay, James, come on, take us home. But Ryan Coogler, you did a good job, Ryan. But man, James Cameron, he's right around the corner, and he's gonna like wipe the floor with you. But no offense. Still amazing set piece. Amazing city. I love the influence of the culture. I love the way that, again, they really reinvented Namor without maybe stepping on too many toes, but they thought, we have this character Namor. On the surface, he's pretty bland. I'm sure he's a deep character in the comics, but I love the way the MCU kind of reinterpreted it, his like setting and environment to fit more the Black Panther movie, the Wakanda Forever movie more, and the MCU as a whole, which is great. I love that. Like it was so beautiful too, like the artwork and the design, the pyramid, the little pyramid like things, and the way Namor talked about how he brought the sun to his people underwater, and that was with the vibranium. That was fantastic. And oh, I forgot he's a mutant. They said the word mutant, and I was half expecting but they didn't do it, which was great. And that was funny. Imagine if they did. That would be hilarious. It's like he's having this little monologue, and it's like, a mutant. They called me. To push it. Miss Marvel's an interesting show. So yeah, but then Namor talks about how he doesn't really care about killing the scientists anymore. Or maybe he does. I forget. The point is, Namor tells Shuri that in the future, they would like to be allies so they can go to war with the surface world because of all the pollution and the oil drilling and all that stuff. And I thought, that's a good idea to explore. Namor is like, and Shuri's like, we can't go to war with the whole surface world. And Namor's like, but like, why not? They clearly are a threat. They're clearly trying to steal from you right now. So why don't we just team up and fight against them? That's not like a big deal to him. And it's great. It's good conflict. And T'Challa, anyway, so we got to Ramonda trying to find Nakia, T'Challa's girlfriend, to help rescue Shuri, and she does. This cool sequence of her trying to find out what's happening. Oh my god, the beach. Oh no, I'm so sorry. I completely forgot Namor's backstory. That was so beautiful. Namor's entire backstory with his mom and the poison, the smallpox, and how like they die but then were reborn as these like the underwater people. Like that was great. That was so beautiful. And then he comes back to bury her mom in the surface world, and then they find out that her old home was taken over by slavers and stuff, and then no more. That was beautiful. It was so cool. And the way they got his name, oh my god, hold on. The way they reinvented Namor's name, dude. You guys, hold on. I gotta find it. I gotta find the specific thing. That is great. I have to find the line. I'm so sorry. You'll thank me later. Hold on. Niño sin amor. No, cinema. Hey, yo, it's so good. It's such a good way to do his name. This is great. And yeah. Anyway, back to Nakia trying to find Shuri. There is a beautiful beach in this entire movie. That's so perfect. It's so beautiful. I was just like Ryan, what are you doing? It's beautiful. The whole movie's beautiful. Like, ugh, it's so great. It's better than the first one, honestly, in my opinion. In general, this movie's better than the first one. But man, oh my god, those locations are. Oh, quick little tangent too. This movie's funny. It's surprisingly funny. It's probably the funniest one compared to the first one, but it's also like emotional. So that was a good way to balance that, because you could end up with a Thor: Love and Thunder situation where the humor outweighs the drama. But in this case, it was a nice little balance. So that was nice. And yeah. So anyway, so Shuri gets so Nakia goes in and kills some of the guards to free Shuri and Riri. Complete misunderstanding. And then Namor is distracted by talking to Ramonda. Queen Ramonda. I gotta put some Queen Ramonda. And that was cool. And then Namor's like comes back and he's like, "This is war. We're gonna have the retribution. We gotta strike vengeance back." And so they go back to Wakanda. And was there anything else before the attack? No, I think it was just the attack. So yeah, the attack on Wakanda is done so well, because at first, the actual I'm gonna do it from the scene where Nakia and Okoye are talking, because in the background you can see water like slowly go in, and first you're thinking, you don't notice it until like it's a bigger thing. Sorry, text my brother. But yeah, at first you don't notice it, but then you do, and it's like, oh. And then it's like the streets are getting flooded. That's a little weird. That's kind of interesting. And then the Okoye says, "We're under attack." And then it immediately cuts to a building exploding with water, and the whole streets are flooding. It's so beautiful. It's amazing. It's like, oh my god, this is so pure, perfect, so pure, so beautiful. And there's a bunch of fight scenes, and M'Baku tries to strike Namor. Namor's like, and he's like, bitch! It's like, oh, fuck yeah, let's go. And then I shouldn't be talking. This is really emotional. So it's Shuri and some other person whose name I forgot. I'm so sorry, because she's great too. I don't have time to look it. Do I have time to look it up? I do have time to look it up. Let me figure out who. I think Aneka, Aneka. Yeah, Aneka. She was great. She and Shuri are flying around trying to save people while Riri's with the queen, and then Namor. Hold on. So then Namor strikes down explodes the queen's little council room thing, and then she dies trying to rescue Riri. And again, super emotional, super serious. Namor, he kind of is a villain in this movie almost. He's like, listen, this is a warning. I'm sorry, but like you're either with us or against us. And again, super emotionally charged. I didn't expect them to kill the mom. I'm gonna be real with you guys. That did not. I wasn't expecting that. I was like, damn, you're really double dipping here with destruction of Wakanda. That's crazy. So yeah, and then again, emotional. She she got a bracelet. Shuri got a bracelet from Namor, and she thinks if she can use, since that's kind of like vibranium esque-ish, then she can use it to recreate the seed that T'Challa used to become Black Panther, and that gives her the super strength and agility and stuff. And oh, it's so good. Again, M'Baku tries to comfort her at her mother's funeral, and Shuri's like, all I have is rage right now. I can't focus on being sad. And it's so good. And then Riri helps make the suit and the other stuff, and she ends up making the seed, and then she tries it for the first time, and she goes to the ancestral plane, and it's, who is it? Like, the whole time I'm thinking, they're going to deepfake Chadwick Boseman. They're going to deepfake Chadwick Boseman. They're going to do it. They're going to AI voice him, right? And then my man, Killmonger, Michael B. fucking Jordan shows up, and I'm like, yes! Someone in my theater literally went, oh, holy shit. And I was like, yeah, dude, let's go. And it's so good too, because it's like, oh, she's not doing it because she wants to be Black Panther. She wants to do it because she's angry and she wants to kill Namor. And Killmonger's like, yeah, you should do it. You should make it bleed, cuz. Like, it's like yes, dude, hell yes, give me more of that. That's it. That's the moment. That's powerful. And then you think, and then she wakes up, and then you think at first it doesn't work. You think it didn't work, and Shuri doesn't want to say who she saw in the ancestral plane. But then she punches a dummy, and the dummy just flies through the wall. And I was like, hell yes, yes, yes. And then so then she becomes the new Black Panther, and you would expect, interesting thing actually, you would expect that suit to get introduced just in the final fight if this was a typical Marvel movie, but it gets introduced way beforehand, which is a cool. I thought that was cool because you have to sit with it more. And yeah, M'Baku is like, Shuri wants to attack Namor as revenge, and they figure out that Namor needs water in general, so if they dry him out, then he won't be as strong as before. And so M'Baku's like, are you sure you want to do this? Like, this is kind of like, I promised your brother I would look out for you, and I don't think you're going really down a right path. And then Shuri's like, sit down, I am Black Panther, or whatever. That was not great. She says something, and M'Baku's like, oh, okay. And it was such a good scene too. And so then the final fight happens. There's not really more to say. The CG is okay-ish. I thought the fighting was cool. Ironheart's new armor, I don't like it. I vastly prefer the Mark 1 armor. The new one's like red, blue. It's not my cup of tea, I want to be honest with you. But if it works, it works. If it works for you, it works for you. It's such a minor nitpick in general because overall the scene was pretty good. And yeah, and then there's a fight on the beach with Letitia. Shuri and Namor, and Namor actually stabs her. I was shocked. I didn't expect her to get stabbed. I was like, whoa, oh shit. And then Shuri gets angry and like cuts the spear, pulls herself out, and goes after Namor, and she's about to kill him. She's about to kill him when she gets a vision from her mother in the ancestral plane, and basically she realizes what she's done, and she basically tells Namor, listen, why don't we just yield right here? We both messed up. I think you and I both understand that we messed up. We did some things we weren't proud of, and we should just go our separate ways and just stop, because this is just gonna end with one of us killing each other. It's not gonna be pretty. So Namor yields, and everyone goes to separate ways. But I like how there's a scene where back in Namor, where Namor is just drawing on the mural, and one of his soldiers, I believe her name is Namora, not Gamora, Namora, maybe, I don't know. But she asks him why, because like they should have like they were winning, and then Namora's like, listen, I didn't want to risk any more people dying. Plus, they eventually will need our help once they realize how bad the surface world is. So right now, we're just biding our time. And that was a good way to keep him still as like a little bit of an antagonistic force, but also not overtly not a bad guy, like not a straight up villain, which is nice. I love that. And then we cut back to the little waterfall fight area pit. That was from the first movie. And instead of Shuri showing up, it's M'Baku, because Shuri is busy. Oh my god! I'm so sorry. I keep forgetting. So in the beginning of the movie, Queen Ramonda takes Shuri to this little area in like a little pond, and she tells her that she has a tradition where after the funeral they burn the funeral robes, and Shuri doesn't want to do that because she's so angry. Like, she would rather not even think about anything regarding her brother's death, because then she'll get angry. But this time, in the end of the movie, she does do it. And it's a nice scene in Haiti, and Nakia has a place, and Nakia, is that her name? I'm not too familiar with names. Nakia, right? And then so she decides to do it on her own, and it's such a good moment because it's interspliced with these moments from the first movie between T'Challa and Shuri, and I love. There's no music. There's not that much music. There's not even music. It's just keeps cutting back between Shuri and T'Challa, and it's just like an emotional moment where she's like grieving. She's finally giving herself the space to mourn, to the space to let go, and but always remember them. It's such a beautiful moment, and then again, it's just so beautiful. This movie just beautiful, like overall. I think the way it handled the theme of like grief and loss and what they were going for, I thought it was done beautifully. And then the credits happen with Rihanna's song Lift Me Up, which I think it's a good song. I like it. I think this movie, it doesn't use the whole soundtrack they made, as far as I am aware, like the first movie, because some of the songs in the first movie that Kendrick Lamar made, I don't think they could use all of them, but they can use some of them, so they did. Again, I haven't actually listened to the whole soundtrack. I have to go back and listen to it, but then we get the post-credit scene with I didn't realize what they were going for until like a lot of people were like, oh, and then it took me a second, and then as soon as I saw, so Nakia brings a little child with her to talk to Shuri, and it's revealed, it's pretty clear that that's T'Challa's son, and that's when I was like, oh, okay. And that was a beautiful moment, I think, because it's like, oh, that's nice. And it's kind of like more, it's not even like a plot thing, it's more like thematically resonant, and it's so beautiful. This was really just a love letter to Chadwick Boseman, like what he did. It's just a love letter in general, and thank you. And we mourn your loss, but we will celebrate your life too. And that was beautiful. And yeah, I'm not sure I was really like, I wasn't crying, but I was emotionally invested, and that's a good thing, I think. And after all like the crap with like Hawkeye and some parts of She-Hulk and some parts of Shang-Chi, just overall Phase 4, since this is Wakanda Forever is the end of Phase 4. Looking back on Phase 4, I think this is probably my least favorite phase. Maybe. Or maybe it's just recently biased. The point is, I didn't love a whole lot of Phase 4. I liked Phase 4. I didn't love a whole lot of Phase 4. But I'm happy that Wakanda Forever was like a high note to end on, because, again, it's such a good movie. And I really recommend seeing it. It's way better than Black Adam, because Black Adam was okay. I don't think it was great. But yeah, I'm not sure what I'm looking forward to in Phase 5. I know for sure Daredevil Born Again, because Daredevil. Ironheart, I'm kind of looking forward to. Secret Invasion, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Maybe I'll check it out. I don't know. The Marvels. I didn't see Miss Marvel, but I don't think I really need to understand what happens in the Marvels because I read about everything. Um, Loki season 2, maybe. No, actually, yeah, because that actor from Everything Everywhere All at Once is in it. Um, maybe Spider-Man 4. I don't know. We'll see. Again, very good movie. Highly recommend it. But what did you think about it? Again, let me know in the comments what you thought about it. Don't forget to like. You can subscribe if you want. I don't care. And my laptop fan is about to explode. So I guess I'll just stop streaming. And yeah. So anyway, have yourself a good night or good day, night, morning, afternoon, whatever the hell whatever time zone you are in right now. And I'll see you next time. I'm pretty sure next time I'm making an edited video. I'm going to make a full-blown video essay again. It might be about Andor. It might not be about Andor. It might be about the Guardians Holiday Special. But yeah. Anyway, that's pretty much it.